Aloha. Hopefully this is a short one. I noticed one of my iholenas here has a very brown spike for a new leaf coming out, and that's not a good sign. The base of it looks dead or rotten. It could just be rotten leaf sheath, but I'm going to cut this thing down because it's got all these bases coming up. It's got all these keikis forming. I mean, the root ball can expend this piece, and actually the likelihood is this might be the original head of the banana that the tree fell on. I'm not totally sure yet, but the way that leaf sheath looks up there reminds me of something called Panama wilt. So if I cut this thing down and there happens to be a rotten core in it, that could be a bad sign. But it's a type of fusarium, and it can be a root ball killer, but it's not a total end all. I could probably save some of these keikis off of it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing kind of low this time. Not my regular up here. We'll probably go a little lower and just see what's inside. See, that's the problem. You see that yellow coming up. This is dead. Yeah, that's not good. I think that's a type of fusarium. It's stinky. And in the inside leaf, they're totally mush. Look at that. I'm not even sticking my finger in there. You'd never get the smell out. Well, you would eventually, but... And funny enough, even with that kind of stinkiness, there's a type of Hawaiian medicine that recognizes the inside rotten core of the banana as actually being an antiseptic for infected wounds, because the bacteria in this is so strong it'll actually over-dominate, like the staphylococcus that might be taking you down. So yeah, the idea of smearing something disgusting and rotten, kind of like some, well, you could imagine. And anyway, this is not a good sign though. You find a banana like this, there's a good chance these other bananas might get infected by it. Now this may not be fusarium. If I'm lucky, it could just be that it gave up or pinched out or something. Maybe corn weevils hit the bottom core and killed it, and these ones might be next, but these are looking pretty good, so I don't get the impression like they're struggling. Usually they start to show signs of only being maybe 2 leaves, 3 leaves, and not much new growth when their core is really eaten up by the weevils. But the fusarium, that's just, it's the same thing that causes bud rot here. and stem rot, and certain tomato wilts, and a number of other problems. And it just has to do with like just the wet fungal environment we're in here. I'm not too worried about it. If I was a commercial grower, this could be a huge bad sign, but I believe that these bananas will probably do fine and survive out of it, because I think this is the original from this, and the one it shot up has already thrown a rack, and this one never threw a rack. So maybe this is why it just kind of said eh, and got all these babies off the ground, which are probably going to do just fine. So we'll see. But yeah, there's an example. If you see anything wrong with your bananas, look up constantly and look for what might be mysterious problems, and get them before they advance onto any of your other healthy bananas. But if you do have this problem, you probably want to dig up the clump, at least get down, remove that base, see what all the rot is. It usually travels through the corm itself, and so like I said, some of these babies could probably be saved by getting popped off. Maybe this is going to travel underneath into the rest of these guys. I don't know, but we'll see. We kind of hold our breath. All right, aloha.